In this video, I'm going to show you how to create purchase invoices. There are three different ways to do this. Firstly, from the front dashboard, you can click on the arrow button on the top right hand side, and in here you can just come down to create a new purchase. Alternatively, if you go to the purchases module on the left hand side, you can just hit the create a purchase option, and that will generate a new purchase invoice for you. Or if you go into the supplier module on the left hand side and click into a supplier record, you will have the option at the top of the screen to create a new purchase. Once you click on any of these options, it will take you down to the purchases module, and it will take you down into the screen to generate a new purchase invoice. By default, it will go to purchase invoice number 1, but depending on what number you're on within your own business, you can just change that and it will just go up sequentially from there. It's brought through the supplier details because I created that from the supplier screen. Alternatively, you can just click on the drop down box and you can choose which supplier it's for, or you can add a new supplier record just by clicking on this plus action in here. We can then choose to put in a reference if we wish to. So I'm just going to put in TRAV50 in here. We can choose the issue date, and the due date has come through from the payment terms I have set with this supplier. And then to add information to the purchase invoice, all I need to do is click on add line item. Now I can see, because I've set it up next to the supplier record, my purchase code has come through as materials. If it was something different, you can just click on the drop down box, and in here you can choose the purchase code that you need to assign this transaction to. Once we've done that, all we need to do is just type in a description in here. So we're going to say this was plasterboard, and then I can put in how much I paid for that. And again, if I put in the net rate, it will calculate the VAT for me, or alternatively I can put in the gross value and it will calculate the 20% VAT for me, and it's got my net rate calculated in here. I can add more information just by adding in more lines if I've purchased multiple things in here, and also I can add a comment line in here, and I can just free type any other information that I want to record. Once I've done that, all I need to do is click the save button on the top right hand side of the screen, and we can now see that purchase invoice is saved into the system. To create a new purchase invoice, all we need to do is just go back to the purchase screen now, and we will see that purchase invoice for Travis Perkins has now been recorded, and I have an unpaid purchase for £800 in the system. To create a new one now, all we need to do is click on the create button at the top of the screen, and we're just going to go and create one for Wix in here, and I'm just going to say this is Wix 51. Add a line item, and again we're just going to post that to materials, so I can just free type in there and we can see our materials listed. And then I'm just going to say we bought some paint for £100. It's going to add the VAT for me, and I'm just going to save that into the system there. So now if we go back to the purchases screen, I can see I have two outstanding purchase invoices here, and we can see the values for each of those here. At the bottom of the screen you can also see a total, so I can see a total of £920 due to my suppliers. If we actually go through to the dashboard now on the left hand side of the screen, we'll be able to see that I've got in the money you owe section, I've got £920, so that's how much I owe to my suppliers. We can see money owed to us, so I can see I've got £1,860 outstanding on my sales invoices as well. And you can drill into these from here as well. So if I just click into this, it's going to take me straight through to my purchases, and I can see those from here as well. If we go to the supplier screen on the left hand side, we can now see my two suppliers in here, and my outstanding balance £800 and 120 are listed in here. If we click into a purchase invoice from here, into a supplier record, we'll be able to see all of our purchase invoices for this supplier listed, and we can see how much has been billed, how much has been paid, and what's actually due for each supplier from here. I can drill into my purchase invoices from here, so if I drill in from the supplier record, it will take me through to the purchases screen, and I can go and have a look at that purchase invoice. From here we have the option to print it, so I can print that off as a PDF if needed, or we could just email that through to a supplier just by clicking on email. We can if we've recorded an email address on the supplier record, that will bring in here straight away, and I can put in a subject and I can type in the description, and it will just attach that purchase order as a PDF, and that will go straight through to the supplier. We can also add a payment. So if we've paid this purchase invoice, I can just click add payment, and then I can choose which bank account, the payment method. So I'd say I paid it on a company credit card. I paid it in full for £120, and then I can just hit save. That payment will be recorded at the bottom of the purchase invoice, and we can now see that the status is now paid. Now you will have the option, once you've recorded a payment at the bottom of the screen, to email and print the actual payment itself. So if I click on the email button on here, this will basically email a remittance for that purchase. So if I open up that purchase remittance, we can now see it's got all your supplier details, and more information you put in will come onto this itself. We can see it's a remittance advice in here, and we can see the payment's been made and the payment method, and then you could send that straight through to your supplier. We also have the option to copy. So at the top of the screen, we can copy these as well. So if you've got repeat purchase invoices, or you're purchasing regular things, if I just hit copy, I can copy that across to a new purchase, and then you can see it's brought those details through again. It's changed the purchase invoice number to number 52, and then I can just save that, and that's going to save that in the system. So if I go through to purchases on the left hand side now, we can see that that's been created and the status is unpaid, and we can see the one that we paid off is now listed as paid. While we're on this screen in the purchase module, you see at the top we do have the option to set up repeat purchases as well. So if you do repeat buy the same things all the time on a regular basis, you can set it up to generate automatic purchase invoices within the system. And that's how easy it is to create and manage purchase invoices.